Awaken with Thunder and Lightning.
Reignite the lighting of soul.
Talking all things mediumship.
Spirit.
And paranormal.
Listen, Thunder and Lightning weekly podcast.
Come and join us.
Welcome everyone to Thunder and Lightning's weekly podcast, talking all things mediumship and spirit.
Awaken with Thunder and Lightning. Reignite the light in your soul.
Hi Roger, have you had a good week?
No, it's not been too bad, thank you, Gavin. How about yourself?
Wonderful, always wonderful. I try to make it look that way or feel that way. So try and match the energies that I put out to the energies that are inside. So always try and give a positive reply. I'd say that to anyone actually. If anyone asks you, you're all right. So don't just say, yeah, I'm okay. That's sort of a neutral answer. Here, I'm great. Or I'm wonderful. Make sure the energy out sort of going to bring back the energy you want to attract.
Yeah. I usually say, well, I'm tip-top and tickety-boo.
You do. And I never know what to say to that one.
Good.
But I hope everyone enjoyed the first podcast. It went further than we thought. We're getting close to 100-ish views. So that's not bad for week one.
Amazing.
But I think it took me longer to actually get it onto that than it did to actually record. But it should be much smoother this week. Now I've understood podcast a little better. Trust me to jump in the deep end. But I hope all of you have been well this week. We have got a guest for you shortly. I can never pronounce his surname correctly, but we will bring on in a while John Paragis. And I've known him for quite a while, and he's very, very good with EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. Something that he's built up to, and it is something that I come across with readings, Roger, that some people do with their loved ones and get quite good replies, and it gets better and better and better. I know I do it a lot on Paranormal, which you've seen me do, and often we get good replies with them counting, but sometimes they're phenomenal. Sometimes you can never guarantee what you're going to get. Like last week when we asked for them to say, hello, Roger, I was through a spirit box, and they said, hello, Roger. So we will be bringing John on to talk to us and tell us a bit more about EVPs, electronic voice phenomena.
Oh, fantastic.
We've got an event coming up this weekend, haven't we, Rog?
Yes, we have. We've got some healing. We're doing healing.
Surgery. We're hoping to do some healing, or spirits do some healing. So if anyone's wanting to look at that, you can go to the PsychicGavin events, and there's Roger, Lorraine, Marie, my partner, and myself performing some psychic surgery. Well, not us. We're performing it, but we're letting spirit work through us to try and bring some healing to those that need it, which we always look forward to, and it's always a really good event if you're wanting to come along.
And that's between what time?
Oh, I knew you were going to put me on the spot. That is between 6 and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So I was ready. I've got the information in front of me. But this week, I can say that tonight is the last night before the full moon. So this should be being released tomorrow, the 13th. So you should have, I notice, in positive energies coming around, where you may have felt some negative energies around or not felt so good. That should all be boosting around to a very positive energy, as that moon is very close to the earth, is it not, Roger?
It certainly is. It's I think it's the biggest supermoon of the year, where the moon will appear about 7% bigger and brighter than normal. So fantastic energies which are coming round.
Brilliant. While I remember, I promised Dexter something. He wants me to tell you a joke.
Go on then.
He says this is one of John's best ones. Not John that we're interviewing, my guide John. What's red and bad for your teeth?
Go on.
Garage door that's painted red.
Well done, Dexter.
I comes out with some good ones. He's going to be running out of colour red soon.
Oh dear.
But I've been playing around, not playing around as such because you can't play around with it, but with some hypnosis this week to remove or try and get rid of barriers to do with post-traumatic stress disorder, basically stress and things that can't be released from the past. But I've also used the hypnosis this evening in another way that Spirit had wanted as well. So Spirit had given me it with regard to trying to remove post-traumatic stress disorder, but also for mediumship development. And Roger was one of my guinea pigs.
Yep, certainly was.
But Roger had his guide talking through him in trance while hypnotised, which I've not heard of particularly being done before, but Spirit told me it was possible, and it appears it was possible. But Roger's a step closer. He's going to be doing trance mediumship soon.
I just remember the first couple of words, and yeah, I don't know what else was said, to be honest.
He was calling you all sorts of names, Roger.
Right. Well, there you go.
He wasn't. He just told us his name was the same as yours, Roger. So Roger had to say hello to Roger. We had a few Rogers.
Yes, Roger.
No, it was very, very good. So the hypnosis in that way, if any of you have got a problem to do with trying to let go of something in the past, you know that forgiveness isn't about the other person, is it? It's about yourself. It's about letting go. So if you can let go and forgive, you're claiming your power back. So any time that you've got any issues with someone else, why do you want to leave them with your power? So if you want to bump into them in the supermarket and you're thinking, absolute idiot, you. I won't swear, but
yeah. Why do you want to keep going round a similar thing in your head where it's not affecting that person? It is only affecting you. Let it go. It's not necessary. It's not needed. You know, you're not causing them any harm. You are poisoning yourself.
Yep. And it's sometimes not easy to reclaim your power. It's not. You can accept that. But it's first of all, it's just the understanding that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's like we've got a wrong definition for it. Forgiveness, we've got to forgive the other person in order to reclaim our power. And it's often to forgive ourselves for getting into a situation in the first place. Not all situations, don't get me wrong. And it's never about condoning what was done. So you don't condone what was done, but forgiving is reclaiming your power, not having to relive it all of the time. And just that can be started by forgiveness. Forgiving the other is claiming your power back. Why do you want to leave someone else with your that's going to affect you? They've got hold of your power. They're affecting you. Don't let them affect you. Claim your power back.
I'd take it one step further as well, Gavin. I'd say forgive yourself in that situation as well, because something might have happened which has taken you by surprise, and you have thought about it afterwards and thought, why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Just forgive yourself as well.
Yes. So that's one thing that I do come across a lot of people. It can be to do with death, that they didn't spend enough time with a loved one before they passed. It could be assault of some sort, childhood upbringing, and some things aren't easy to let go of. But if you can get the understanding, basically with the hypnosis, I'm talking to everyone's subconscious, their soul self, not with the physical emotions. So it's with the emotions gone. So it's fixing it on that level with your underlying spirit. And the spirit, when connected with your higher self, is far more knowledgeable than any one of us ourselves on earth. So trying to fix it at that level is much, much easier in that trance-like state. Agreeing, it's seeing the colour of people's energies and their faces coming back, and the pain just gone, and the joy, the freshness with them. They're living again, they're smiling again, deep from the heart, without that pain or knife stuck into the heart that they're always carrying a wound with them. And just to see that gone is just amazing. So I know Roger did witness one of them that was after a clearance. So I had a booking to do an energy clearance of spirit, and ended up clearing your energy. Well, my days are always strange. Can never tell what's going to happen, but it's brilliant. I love what I do.
It's so rewarding for you as well, isn't it, in that situation? Like the other day, to see such release happen so quickly.
Yes, and it's when other family members then messaged, they didn't know that was going on, and then messages, I don't know what you've done with my son, my daughter, but thank you. All I've done is follow what Spirit gave me. That's what I've put me here to do, as well as other things. They put me here to try and do that, and just, I know you might think, how's mediumship got anything to do with spirit? And mediumship? Well, it is if spirit are guiding me to do that. I don't know what I'm going to say. I've got a tiny bit of a script they gave me, and then the rest I have to channel through from spirit at the time I'm doing the hypnosis. So it's quite a bit, it can be stressful, and I don't know what they're going to want me to say, but I just trust that they're going to give me what I need to say, and in the right way. Because if I didn't have that trust, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not a hypnotist, I'm just channeling. But if I'm channeling for my guides, hypnosis, if that's what they want to do, we'll let it go. We'll let it happen. If it's helping others, that's the main thing of what a medium does, is a middleman of doing that. So everyone's still a middleman doing the hypnosis and being able to get people to release. So mediumship is far wider than I ever thought it was before, and they always surprise me.
What I was going to say was, just as an addition to that, I was very fortunate to watch this exercise, what Gavin's just described, and to me, I just got an image or an impression of an onion, and you're peeling back layer by layer, and you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper until you get to the core.
And telling them they're releasing it and it's for this good, yeah.
And it was just so amazing to see that release once they've got down to that level.
And then building them back up without that problem in there that they've already released time ago.
So that seed or that issue has got that many protective layers around it. You've gone all the way through to the root, and then you've removed that for them, and that was a privilege to see.
It was a privilege to be able to share it, because often with what I do, it was only because we were doing the clearance anyway. You can't normally share things like that with others, but I didn't charge for that. It was just something I felt like, well, this can help me as well as them. If spirit want to try and develop me, I've got a test case, and then straight away I've jumped onto it this week to be able to help others. I know in the last 3 days now there's 5 that I've helped in that way now, Roger, and it was only Sunday that I did that.
Well, keep it up, keep going.
The way spirit work, like we're going to hear from John, our guest, he would by far not say that he's a medium, but I would say he is in an electronic sense. He can bring messages from the spirit world, so he's a middleman. If he's using a device to do it, same as me on a paranormal investigation. I want to prove that I know I'm telling people spirit are there, but I'll go for my phone, I'll record, and get messages in that way. So there's no difference. It's mediumship in a different way. But he's not actually thought of it that way, so I will be asking him about that when we bring him on. He'll probably say, no, I've not thought of that, but I can guarantee if I ask him, he's probably helped many a person from messages he's received via EVPs, and he won't have thought about it that way. So therefore, he is a middleman.
Would you say it's like a technological advancement from using a Ouija board?
Well, everything's a channel. So a Ouija board is.
So it's just another tool to.
A spirit box definitely is.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Spirit are just put over them. I'll leave that for a minute. We'll let John talk about that as well, because we're going into that category there, which we'll bring John through in a moment. But just before we brought John through, I know one thing my guides are saying we've got to do before John comes through, because we won't be able to change the subject. They're wanting to give a quick message this week, but they're open to anything. I know that we've just covered forgiveness. They may go down that path and talk about power and reclaiming the power. Jane's going to come through this week. We had John, my guide, last week. We're going to have Jane, my guide, this week come through just to say whatever she wants to say. Give her a moment to talk and try and give some guidance to you all. So do give me a moment, please, Roger. Good evening, everyone. I am Jane. I am another one of the medium's guides. I am more like an energy control, and normally I deal with bringing messages from the loved ones in spirit for all of those that need. We do a lot on the supporters group, bringing messages through from their loved ones for them. It is lovely and wonderful to do. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'd be here rather a while with all of you listening to this. What I can do is give some guidance for you all. I know that the medium and Roger have spoken about forgiveness. I don't think I need to go there any more than what they've already said. Reclaim your power. Do this by forgiving. If you need some help, there is no problem with asking some help.
You can always ask for help. This is what you should do. Don't hold it in around your heart. Not speak it out and ask. There is no weakness in asking for help, although a lot seem to think there is. Just like emotions, a lot of people hold emotions in. It's not good for your physical health. Let the emotions out. It's a release. But anyway, my message, Roger, I would like to talk about power. You see, there is more power than in just words. We all have energy coming out of us when in the physical body. You can use this energy to protect yourselves in a variety of ways. You can combine your energy with your intention, with your belief, with your faith that what you're going to do will happen. So, if you've got a bit of a confrontation and someone's getting into your space, you just need to firm up your energy, make it uncomfortable for them. If they're approaching your space in a state of aggression or negativity, the last thing they're going to want is love. I don't mean a romantic love. I mean that love energy, love for all. Place love around yourself. Step back from listening to their words and envisage love surrounding you. They will feel it as well. They will not want to be in that love energy. You can just repeat in your mind, I love you, 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 I love you. It might be the last thing you actually think of them, but make sure your heart feels it and you're sending them genuine love. They will step straight out of your energy. They will. I believe you've tried this, Roger, and it works.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't need
I'm
to
just
use it with
taken
Reiki.
by surprise.
But yes, you don't need to use it with Reiki. But yes, a lot of Reiki practitioners understand this, especially if they're working towards psychic surgery. They'll do it with energy out of their hands, but that's not the only way. You will know that you have an aura around you. That aura, you can make it larger or smaller. Just make it larger and make sure the energy that you fill it with comes from the heart, what you're truly feeling. Love, 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 love. They will feel so uncomfortable. They won't say anything, they'll step out of the energy. And if you want to firm it up a little bit more, imagine that your aura is reflective, so everything they are doing and saying is going back to them. And guess what? If you put the intention they can't speak, they will lose their voice. They won't know what to say. They will shut up, so to speak, without you telling them to. Speak in your mind. You've all got receptors to get information telepathically and through senses, even those people that don't believe in it. It's for instance, say you've got someone sat there in front of you that you've just met with their legs crossed and arms crossed. That means they're closed. They're not going to be listening to anything you say. You only have to sit opposite them for a minute, cross your arms, cross your legs, make sure you get some eye contact, then slowly uncross your legs. They will do the same. Uncross your arms. They will do the same. Now you've got them in an open position to have a conversation and communicate clearly. The same applies with a negative incident or instance when they come close to you. Get them out of your energy by the energy you put out. I hope that helps you all. So that is a bit of guidance from me, Jane, for you all this week, and I hope it helps you all. Does that help you, Roger?
It certainly does, Jane. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So what I'd like to do is send love to each and every one of you and your families. I love you all, my children. Good night.
Good night, Jane.
So thank you, Jane, for that. Thank you. Wonderful words. Wonderful words. So yes, back to EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. So I'll check that John is around and get him to link up. Good evening, John. Good evening.
Hi.
I hope I pronounced your surname correct earlier. I know we've spoken for quite a few years now, and it sort of started all about EVPs and electronic voice phenomena, and you just have gone, in the last 3 years, you've gone from strength to strength and everything that I've heard that you're capturing, and I always thought you were good at capturing them in the past. So you've
Oh,
done
yeah,
amazing EVPs. But just tell us a bit about yourself.
John Paragus. I live in Orange, Massachusetts, in the States. I'm 55 years old right now.
What would you call yourself? Do you call yourself a paranormal investigator?
If
I gave a
anything,
reference earlier that I would call
uh,
you like a medium, because there's people
no,
that
I
can
just call
help.
myself a sensitive. If anything, I'm not. My great grandmother had psychic abilities. My grandmother did, but I don't have that much pride, so I just call myself a sensitive because I'm, it's
But at
mainly
times, you're a
cold
middleman.
spots or phantom smells of like cologne or women's perfume, fresh roses, whatever, So
That's
and
definitely an ability. That's definitely an ability. But you have, I know from the past when I've spoken to you, you have used your abilities with EVPs and electronic devices to help others. So technically, that is a role of a middleman. So
yeah,
as a
I'm an empath, so I care more about people than I do myself. And that's the way it goes. I've been helping other people, yeah. And yeah, I've been helping other people. It's just more the gift that you're given for helping others on the other side. You help others on the other side, and you're given graces and gifts in order to help other people with. And
how did you get into EVPs and electronic voice phenomena?
I don't know, just on a whim, pretty much watching ghost hunters. They can do that. I can do the same thing. It's pretty much sitting on Central Cemetery stairs when I started. Took me about 30 tries before I got a voice back. And when I first started, it was like I didn't want to do like a 10-minute recording where you have to listen through the whole thing. Not to mention if you do anything over a minute and a half long, they usually come in right at the beginning, directly in the middle, and somewhere near the end of every recording. So I figured I'd cut it down to under 20 seconds long each. So
can you explain a little bit what would you describe as EVP, John?
Just recording in complete silence and getting a voice back that shouldn't be there, pretty much.
So I guess we could have given it a go now.
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I'll try, but
I'll try as well. My end.
it's a little tough when you're holding two devices at once. I kind of notice that because usually the energy wants to go to one or the other.
Can't guarantee it's going to work, but I like to put it.
No, I could try. But
can you give me a hello, Gavin, or a hello, Roger, or a hello, John, please? Hold on just the 20 seconds.
Hey, can you say hello to Gavin or Roger, please? Hey, can you say hello to Gavin or Roger, please? Thank you. I think I got a hello, Roger. I can slow it down a little bit.
I think I've got a hello, Gavin.
Can you say hello to Gavin or Roger, please? Thank you. Get the hello, Roger. I should actually throw this on a Bluetooth speaker.
Can't guarantee it's going to work, but I like to put it test.
No.
So, Spirit, can you give me a hello, Gavin, or a hello, Roger, or a hello, John, please?
Yeah, I'll try it. Hold on. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a hello here. So, Spirit, can you give me a hello, Gavin, or a hello, Roger, or a hello, John, please?
Yeah, I'll try it. Hold on.
Right at the end, hello.
Yep, certainly heard that, Gavin.
But that's not bad for a 20-second recording, so thank you for that tip, John.
Sometimes even just holding the phone, I'll get them on the phone, so without even having to use a recorder. You get that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes just using the phone by itself, just holding on to it, it'll come through on the phone itself. I've gotten lots of weird stuff. So,
But more than that, John, what I know Roger's heard as well, often if I say something when I'm with my supporters online through Zoom and they want to confirm that it's correct, I don't hear it, but they all at home hear spirit responding, don't you, Rog?
Yes, we do. We do.
And they do voices as well where they will speak. Well, I think Roger was actually one himself that his father was speaking through EVPs on a Zoom call, which was coming his end to us that I had to play back.
Yes, it first started that you were getting some static or sounds like static, which we knew was spirit confirming or wanting to communicate. But yes, my father came through crystal clear.
And grandfather's laugh.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal. Because Gavin said something to me, I laughed, my father laughed, and then there was another voice came in over the top. I mean, it was like, yeah, excellent.
We were the only ones unmuted.
yeah. I usually get like smells of my grandfather or smells from my grandmother. My grandfather was either Old Spice cologne or wintergreen. It's pretty much the same with my grandmother. She was wintergreen also. She was Bengay. It's a rub for aches and pains, and it has the same wintergreen smell.
For any of you that are not from across the pond, I was going to say that's a bit like deep heat smell, or you could kind of call it. It won't be smelling exactly like that, but that's what he's talking about with regards to for the aches and pains. That would be the best way to try and describe it.
Yeah, it's like wintergreen. It smells like wintergreen. It has that wintergreen smell.
Yeah, go on, Rog.
Almost like a peppermint, but it's wintergreen. Yeah.
It smells like German.
Okay.
Always reminds me of root beer. Does that smell?
Oh yeah.
I'm lost because I can't picture what Germany smells like. I can't picture what root beer smells like.
Root beer like German. Sorry.
No, it's all right. We had a girl from England come over and she said root beer kind of tasted like washing up liquid. So I was like, well, I'm not going to drink washing up liquid. So.
So what you're trying to tell us is don't drink root beer. What did you capture on the EVP that you just tried there? I know you just grabbed your speaker.
I just said Roger. It did say Roger, but.
Hey, can you say hello to Gavin or Roger, please? Thank you.
I've always heard hello.
Yeah.
How many times a week do you get an EVP? Do you try and do it daily?
Yeah, I'll try it daily, but I don't go to an extent where it becomes an addiction. If it becomes an addiction, you could have a problem.
Roger's got a question for you.
Yep.
Could you tell us about some of your experiences, John? So.
Yeah. I grew up Catholic on my father's side and spiritualist on my mother's side. So, growing up, my best friend was a trance medium. All you do with a trance medium, I don't know, Gavin's got it mastered, but all you do is pretty much fall into a deep sleep and you have another personality come through you. It's the same way as like if you're talking in your sleep, you really don't know what you're talking about. It's pretty much the same thing. My friend was a trance medium, I think back in our 20s, and took a little time to get used to, but that was through a Ouija board, because you use a Ouija board for with two people. The thing is, the planchette moves around so fast, and it just starts falling off the board and stuff like that. And all we did was like get into a deep conversation, and suddenly he'd go out, fall asleep, really quick, go into like REM sleep or something, and come back as another personality for about 20 minutes or so, until the spirit grew weak, and then he'd fall asleep again, and then his regular self would be back, but he wouldn't remember anything out of any of that. So, but he just channeled one spirit, and yes, just by chance, his name was Dexter. So I don't know.
That's one of my guides. It's called Dexter. He's not spoken yet on the podcast, but I think they're taking in cycles, so he may well speak next week. But he's not been in spirit very long.
When did you start EVPs then, John?
14 years ago.
He started with a
Had a lot
Ouija
of
board.
weird stuff going on, so I started doing that.
What I was going to just ask was, did you find that going into EVPs was like the next natural step for you from using a Ouija board?
Well, it's kind of they're both kind of on the taboo side. So, but
Like, depending on which side of the fence you sit on.
well, yeah, it depends on what side of the fence you're on, though. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, Hollywood dictates one thing, but what you experience is something totally different. You know what I mean?
Well, they need to be treated with respect. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the main thing. Because like attracts like. So I mean, if you're a mean person, you're gonna get a mean spirit, you know, or if you have a mean disposition, you're gonna get the same thing back. But if you go in,
what I would always suggest to people is that you don't connect with spirit if you're feeling down or depressed, or you've got to be doing it when you're in a positive frame of mind, because you are right, like can attract like. So you've got to be positive, you've got to be strong. You've got
But everything's a learning experience. Everybody has a different learning curve. So, you know, for me, it's like I had to start at the bottom and work my way up. I just got married. I just got married last weekend too. Yeah, remarried. Yeah, we're both on our second marriage. So, but the one I'm with now, Grace, she experiences the same things that I do. At the same time that I do, so which is a plus. You're gonna say crikey.
John, I'm just very curious. What particular instrument or devices do you use to capture your EVPs?
I've got a Olympus WS-852. I've got like 3 different recorders. I try to go with the cheaper ones. The cheaper ones work the best. Don't go with the expensive ones.
Have you got any examples that you could play to listeners? Any examples of EVPs near you at the minute?
Yep. Hold on.
He's very good at analysing them as well, and trying to get the quality enough to hear it. Because it's with the EVPs with spirit, they're not always going to get total clearness. You can occasionally come across spirit that's extremely full of energy. They can speak really clearly. I know we had one at Landsguard Fort that he gave us his rank and his name every time that we spoke to him. He was doing maths. He was telling us opposites of colours. Was telling us what colours we were spelling out. Like, phenomenal on that, and that's the best I've ever had with EVPs. Yeah, they can come anytime. So Roger, have you ever caught anything or played around with trying to get EVPs? I know you have when you've been with me on paranormal events.
To be honest, I haven't done that on my own. Really, no reason for not doing it. I just haven't got round to that.
I know I have had a couple of people that I read for that do get their loved ones coming through, and it's just their loved ones that they get, the intention they put out there. They don't do it all the time. Well, there is actually one lady that every night before she goes to bed, she says good night to my mother, and she always gets back to the moon and back.
I think I'm going to give it a try, because I'm certainly fascinated in seeing if I can get some communication.
I got a wooden statue here. First one I got. Wasn't really even trying for it. Took a trip to Medjugorje, I don't know, 18 years ago. And the last day we were there, we had a blackout, and we had a marble statue of the Virgin Mary. It came alive. It was marble. We were up there. We know it was made out of rock, but it was moving its arms and hands around and lit up. And I was just shooting a video, and 7-second video. It said asleep. Hopefully you can hear it.
Certainly did.
What's your best memory of an EVP? What's your best that you've had?
Oh, I got one right here. I had to slow it. Sometimes they end up coming through so quick. What you have to do is you have to slow them down to understand them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just too fast. Yeah, I was in a place called Cathedral of the Pines up in Ringe, New Hampshire, and what it is like an outdoor church thing with an altar
Yeah.
and stuff, Christian, and you get a nice view of a mountain back there, Mount Monadnock. Yeah, I was walking around. I was thinking about my ex-girlfriend, and wishing that she was still with me, and I'm getting a woman's voice saying, "Why are you with her? Release her." And I slowed it. I get the original. That was the original right there. And this is where I slowed it down. Said, "Why are you with her? Release her."
Okay. So, John, do the EVPs, do
Yeah.
they normally help you? Or do they,
Yeah.
or do you get, they're coming through just with spirit giving a message?
Yeah, and if they can't come through on EVPs, they can come through with other people. Same way as like with you.
Just talking on the EVPs, do they come and just sort of tell you about themselves, or do they generally come forward and guide you?
It's kind of they guide you, but they don't really tell me too much about themselves. When you start off, it's going to take you a few times. Might take you 50 times before you get a voice back, and
So
then
from-
after you do, just go from there. Because it's all faith. It's all faith. If you
So
have
you tell
faith
the
in
listeners-
getting a voice back, you'll get one.
If you can tell the listeners, sort of lastly for us, so, well, I've got two questions. One, addictive. Is it addictive? Second question would be locations. You said that you've not done it very often at locations. You've only just sort of started recently at locations.
Anywhere that's quiet. You know, as long as you believe, it doesn't have to be a haunted location. You know, a lot of these haunted locations are just, you know, I get things happening in front of me all the time, and you know, I don't call it a haunted location. It's pretty much just a screenshot of what, you know. It's just, you know, wherever you're at is the theater. You know, it doesn't really matter where it's at. I mean, you can go to haunted locations, so-called haunted locations. At least it puts that in your mind that it's active. It might not be active, but it's in your mind that it's active. There's a lot of mind over matter. Yes, it can become very addictive when you start off. And if you're experiencing too much, please stop for a couple days and then go on, because I've done everything that I wasn't supposed to do. And
Snap.
you take it from me, you don't want to end up in no man's land, because it will send you to no man's land.
I'm finding this totally fascinating what you're talking about, John. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, John. You are fascinating, man.
Yeah.
Is there any question or anything you wanted to ask lastly, Roger? I know that we've got to keep it on the EVP. So, Jeff, is there anything you wanted to ask lastly?
No, I just want to say thank you very much, John. That was fascinating. And
Yeah. Now, when did you get yours, Roger? Are you born with this, or did it come on all of a sudden?
I've always been interested in this type of thing, and it's only in the last few years where I've actually started to trust and believe. And Gavin's helped me quite a hell of a lot in moving forward in that field. Because, 12 months, 18 months ago, if you would told me that I was doing what I'm doing now, I'd just gone, nah.
Especially with getting your guide to talk through you earlier tonight.
Well, new experience for me.
Thank you, John.
That was fantastic. I can relate to everything you've said, so it's been fantastic. Thank you.
The listeners, Roger, then asked me what the best EVP was. I haven't necessarily got the best EVP, but I've got one of them by me, which let's hope you can hear it.
Fantastic. That was fantastic EVP, was that?
So John was quite fascinating.
Oh, yeah,
Man.
he's a fascinating chap.
I hope you've enjoyed this evening. What did you find fascinating with regard to the EVPs? What did you find fascinating on the EVPs? But he is a fascinating man, a very fascinating man.
Yes, he's a fascinating man. I found that really fascinating, and I enjoyed listening to his experiences. And from what he was talking, he's on top of his game with EVP work.
So we hope that you've enjoyed it a lot this evening. We've had John come through as a guest. You've got your message from Jane. We've spoken a bit about the psychic surgery. We've talked about forgiveness. We've discussed EVPs. If any of you do have any questions that you wanted us to cover, please drop a message. We're more than happy to cover any topics that you'd like. And like I said, I've had a request today to publish some of my meditations, guided meditations that I've got on Facebook and YouTube across 2 podcasts. So I will do that, which will be under PsychicGavin Meditations. But the Thunder and Lightning, talking all things mediumship and spirit.
Reignite the light in your soul.
Are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneIn and Alexa Plus, Heart Radio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Samsung and Podchaser, as well as being available from YouTube. So there's quite a few platforms there.
Thank you to our guest tonight, John Paragis, for a fascinating subject on EVP work and some of his life experiences.
Fascinating man. We will have to have him back. A lot of knowledge, but I would say anyone with EVPs, try it. Be respectful to spirit. You don't want to be using it when you're in a negative mood or a negative time frame, or anything that's negative around you. Make sure you're positive, uplifted. You raise the vibration first. Play some music into your home, not through headphones, but through some speakers to make the vibration high and positive. Some fun ones, those cheesy songs, that really lift the vibration. Then get your phone, record if you're only going to use your phone, record on video. It's easy to edit. Like John said, 20, 40 seconds maybe. Ask a question, wait for the reply, listen to it back. Ask another question, wait for the reply, listen to it back. Ask for your loved ones to come through. See with your loved ones. So I'll tell you what, some of you at home, a little challenge. Those that are listening to the podcast, give it a go. If you get your loved ones on it, please drop us a message. Let us know that it's worked for you. I guess on that, I can say good night from me.
And ta-ra from me.
Make sure you're all tickety-boo.
And tip-top.
Take care, all of you. It's a lot of fun. Lots of love.
Ta-ra. Bye.